Welcome back to today's super special under the weather edition of Overexposed. Today we've got a new statement that's been put out by Fujifilm Japan announcing that they're having a hard time keeping up with demand and that they're suspending orders of new film. So today we're going to take a look at that article and then talk about the film stocks that'll be affected and kind of what that means for the film industry going forward. So without wasting too much time, let's take a look at the statement. And you can see this came from Fujifilm's website, and I don't read Japanese. Lucky for us, there are plenty of people out there who can, and some of those folks have been kind enough to translate that for us. So the announcement roughly translates to, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your continued patronage of Fujifilm products. Due to the shortage of raw materials, we are unable to supply enough color negative film in 135 size and reversal film in 135 and 120 sizes. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience this may cause to our customers. We'll announce on our website when we're ready to resume accepting orders. We will continue to take measures to ensure a stable supply of products as soon as possible. We appreciate your understanding in this matter. So that's the statement. You can hear they've pointed out they're having a hard time securing materials to produce enough film stocks. And this is a story that's become prevalent over the years with Fujifilm, most notably as affected by Pro 400H. There were stories about that notorious Fuji 4th blue color layer, and that was causing them some problems keeping up with demand. So it looks like that problem is now plaguing the other film stocks. So let's take a look at the actual films that will be affected. So let me find the link. Everything's in Japanese, but you don't need to be able to read Japanese to figure out what this is telling us. As it relates to 135, Fuji Color 100, Superior Premium 400, Superior Extra 400, all in 135 size are going to be affected by this suspension. Also in the 135 size, we've got the reversal films as well. Velvia 50, Velvia 100, and Provia 100F are all affected. Velvia 100, which is now illegal in the United States. And in 120 sizes, we have all of the color reversal films, Velvia 50, Velvia 100, and Provia 100F. All of those films are going to be the ones that are going to be hard to come by for the foreseeable future. So that's a pretty tough pill to swallow. At least at this point, Fuji is saying that it is a domestic suspension, so being released by Fujifilm Japan, hopefully that doesn't trickle over to the United States. No announcement yet has been made this will have any effect on global film supplies. But in Japan, it looks like they're having a hard time keeping up with demand. At least me reading the tea leaves, it doesn't bode well for their ability to keep up with the rest of the world's demand for film if they can't even supply film to Japan. But what does this mean industry-wide? Fuji has really leaned into Instax, where Kodak has done at least a passable job continuing to develop and release new films every once in a while. Since the revision of Fuji Acros 100, a film that I thought we were going to lose a few years ago, they came out with a version 2 of that film. We've seen no new film announcements from Fuji, at least in the conventional professional film formats. And unfortunately, it's this lack of development on the film front that's leading to these supply chain shortages. If Fuji could do some market research and figure out, hey, look, we're having a hard time securing some of these materials, maybe it would make sense to maybe develop new formulations of film that were sustainable and were able to be produced for the foreseeable future. I've got this grand overarching conspiracy that they don't want film to continue to survive, that they want film to die out, that they would rather people shoot their digital cameras, and more specifically, they would like people to shoot their Instax cameras. They would like film to continue to be a novelty, a niche. They make a ton of money on Instax. They've got a monopoly almost on that market. Again, that's my pet little conspiracy theory, is that they really just don't care about 35, 120 sheet film. They don't care about that. They care about Instax, and that's where their resources and their development are going to. That and their digital camera lines. You know, anytime there's an announcement like this, people get really panicked because there's that rumor out there that continues to float around that all of Fuji's film stock that's out there is just frozen stock that they're pulling out of a cellar somewhere and selling to us. I don't think that's true. I don't think that you would get announcements like this. You wouldn't have issues like this pop up if that were actually the case. However, if you see this suspension start to spread, become more of an issue globally, and then none of these films are ever brought back online, maybe we can look back and say, hey, there was something to that rumor. But at least at this point, I don't think we have any reason to panic and think, at this point, I don't think we've got any real reason to panic and think that we're losing these films permanently. The silver lining in the announcement, to me at least, was that Fuji looks like they intend to resume orders of these film stocks at some point in the future. They encourage folks to continue to view their website and check back to see if there are going to be any more updates. So that indicates to me at least that this isn't the end of these film stocks. They're just having trouble keeping up with demand, I guess much like everybody else. And that's going to lead to some supply chain shortages for a while. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this suspension by Fuji are. Do you think this is an indication with any problems more broadly with film film market? Or is this just a one-off thing with Fuji that will pass? Either way, let me know. For more film controversy shakeup news, check out my video about Kodak raising their film prices. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, subscribe before you go, leave the video a like, and we'll see you next time.